The story begins in a world called Earthclear, which is a magical land of swords, sorcery, and beasts. In this world, everyone has their own stat menu, which they can use to view and improve their level and personal talents. One of these people is Koji, an ordinary young man counting his earnings under a tree. Suddenly, he hears the shout of a little boy getting attacked by a slime monster. As the poor boy and his dad think they're doomed, out of nowhere, a coin shoots out and completely obliterates the slime, which explodes into a bunch of coins after its defeat. Koji comes out to check on the scared father and son. Both of them are shocked, since common people like them have no chance of defeating monsters, but Koji doesn't answer their question immediately. Instead, he gives the boy some gold coins, explaining that a slime gives 100 bronze coins upon death. Koji thinks that monsters are a great way of farming infinite money, but the young boy doesn't agree, since he thinks it's too dangerous to hunt them. Koji understands the boy's feelings and starts to leave, but he stops after the boy asks if he has the hero class. To answer his question, Koji simply displays his status window to Aura Farm, which shows his class and rank as a level 999 villager. In Koji's world, the country of Japan has long transformed into a nation called Hexandria. Sometime in the past, magical monsters appeared in the nation, while people started receiving special talents called classes at birth. Usually, people are born as a warrior, monk, thief, hunter, and sorcerer, but some exceptional geniuses may have a sage, hero, or king talent with incredibly powerful abilities. Any person born without these gifted talents is called a villager, which is the weakest class of them all. Although villagers usually remain between level 1 and 10, with no hope of defeating even the weakest monster, Koji somehow found a way to far surpass this limit. While he walks along his path, elsewhere, a hooded little girl reaches the exterior of an ancient cavern, which is rumored to hold the legendary sacred sword inside. Meanwhile, Koji reaches the city of Valmon, where he walks towards the local adventurers guild. In the same city, the hero of the nation, along with his partner, both prepare to set out on their journey to purge the world of all the monsters plaguing it. Inside the guild, Koji hands over the materials for his quests to the receptionist, who gives him a reward of 5 gold coins. Hearing this, all the nearby adventurers are stunned, since it would require a huge amount of monsters to earn so much money in one go. Naturally, Koji continues aura farming and silently checks out the quest board, noting that he still needs to make over 4,500 gold for a personal goal. While checking the quest, he notices one of them offering easy gold coins for monsters from the ancient cavern, so he grins and prepares to work hard for the day. Outside the guild, the young hero, Rex, rallies all the townsfolk with a heartfelt speech. He reminds everyone of the imminent threat of monsters around them, causing the kingdom's capital to send all their warriors on dangerous quests just to fend them off. The hero points out that unless they treat the root cause of the issue, the monsters will swallow them all eventually. In reality, all fantastical monsters are produced by mana, which is a special substance released by the demon race. In the hero's eyes, the demon race, led by the demon king, is the true reason that the humans are suffering from monster attacks, as Rex boldly declares that the demon race should be exterminated. Koji hears his words while getting ice cream from a nearby stall. Meanwhile, Rex asks the crowd for any brave warriors willing to join his cause. Watching the talented young hero and the beautiful sage standing by his side, the adventurers' crowd goes wild as many of them try to join them. One of them, an experienced warrior at level 86, offers to lend the hero his aid. Surprisingly, Rex coldly refuses the man's offer, saying that he doesn't need dead weights who can't contribute to his cause. The adventurers are outraged by his arrogant claim, so he silences them all by displaying his impressive level 90 hero status. Then, the warrior asks Rex if the sage next to him is qualified, since she is only at level 42. Rex explains that despite her lower level, his partner sage has excellent support capabilities due to her powerful class, so she is more than qualified to fight with him. In addition, he also reveals that she's King Simon's third daughter, Princess Krull, so she has accepted her destiny to fight for the nation's cause. Though the crowd is silenced by the hero's logic, a level 80 priest still tries to join him. Rex still refuses, pointing out that the priest is too old, so he doesn't want him to get hurt along the journey. After the old priest, a younger priest at an impressive level 70 asks if he can join, but Rex claims that he doesn't have the potential to get stronger in the future. Facing his strange rejections, dungeons. The adventurers grow restless, and an insecure young girl called Tina wonders if she can join. Since she's only a level 50 priestess, the crowd thinks there's no way, but Rex instantly accepts her into his party, proving that he's simply a pervert, not a righteous savior. Watching the scene from a distance, Koji figures that this young hero is simply trying to make a name for himself by surrounding himself with beautiful women and gaining the prestige of defeating the Demon Lord. Then, after another beautiful girl steps up to join Rex, Koji leaves, losing interest in their ambitions. Sometime later, he arrives outside the entrance of the cave, hoping to get a luxurious sushi dinner after returning home with the bounty. After a short while, he encounters the first blue devil inside. Despite the monster's ferocious strength, Koji defeats it with a single blow and starts gathering the money like it's a house chore. He proceeds to demolish a few more blue devils, one of whom drops its horn, which is a precious, rare item. Although the horn emits powerful mana like the demon race, Koji doesn't understand why it sells for so much. As he tries to complete his quest goal of defeating 30 blue devils, he runs into the hero's party along the way. The party encounters a blue devil, which Rex easily kills with a single slash of his sword. The girls behind him are impressed, but Tina notices Koji's presence behind them, so he quickly hides behind a wall, wanting to avoid the arrogant hero. Meanwhile, Princess Krull is eager to move forward, so her teammate, the mage, Parna, teases her for the enthusiasm. The princess is pleasantly surprised by her casual treatment, since people usually treat her distantly, so Tina also asks if she can be on good terms with her. As the princess nods, Parna asks Rex why they're visiting the ancient cavern, since the Demon Lord's palace is in another direction. The hero explains that they're here to obtain a special item, which can only be found after following the strange crests hidden in the dungeon's maze. However, only the royal family knows this secret, so Rex is using Krull's help to track the treasure down. At the end of the maze, he reveals that a sacred sword is hidden at an altar, which can only be equipped by a hero of level 90 or higher. Hearing this, the two other girls are shocked, but Parna wonders why the kingdom didn't just use the sacred sword earlier to defeat the Demon Lord. Rex explains that although a level 90 hero can use the sword, it does not mean that he can immediately master it and defeat the Demon Lord, so the kingdom kept it hidden for a worthy user. Now, since the king's precious daughter is following the hero in a dangerous quest, he immediately agreed to let him use the sacred sword for her protection. After his explanation, Rex turns around, filled with confidence. He believes that he's destined to become the savior of humanity once and for all with the legendary weapon, and the girls look forward to their exciting journey in the future. Elsewhere in the cavern, the hooded little girl from earlier continues her search, failing to realize that her demon horns are exposed for anyone to see. Meanwhile, Koji finds himself surrounded by a pack of blue devils, which he effortlessly takes out in an instant. After defeating the devils, he notices that there are many more monsters than usual in the cavern's depths. Soon, the hooded girl runs past him, so Koji warns her about the blue devils. However, the dangerous monsters remain completely passive with the girl, and they allow her to pass them safely. Koji defeats the devils, but he feels more interested in the mysterious young girl who just left, somewhere else in the dungeon. The hero's party starts to get overwhelmed by the onslaught of the blue devils. Parna thinks it's normal to be so winded since the cavern is a dangerous dungeon, but Rex thinks these numbers are completely abnormal. Tina heals the princess before moving to heal Rex, but she warns him that she's running out of mana. The poor girl apologizes for her pitiful stamina, feeling impressed that Parna could survive those monsters without a single scratch. Parna winks, pointing out that she is very experienced with stronger dungeons. Behind them, the princess feels guilty for being the weak link, but Rex comforts her and reminds everyone that they've reached the sacred sword's location. However, when they go inside, they find the strange hooded girl at the sword's location. Princess Krull notes that this girl is radiating immense amounts of mana, so everyone grows hostile, thinking she's a demon. Rex finally realizes that all the monsters in the dungeon were attracted to this girl's mana. More importantly, he sees that the sword is missing, so he accuses the girl of stealing it. The girl claims that the sword was missing before she arrived, but Rex refuses to believe her. Even against a child, the hero's party decides to have no mercy. Led by the hero, they all attack the helpless little girl, who closes her eyes in fear. Nobody notices that before the attacks can hit, a blazing fast shadow arrives by the girl's side. As the smoke clears from the attack's explosion, the party is shocked shocked to see the girl completely unharmed with Koji standing by her side. He scolds the party for attacking a child, while Rex feels shocked by his incredible strength. He asks Koji what his class is, so Koji simply claims that he is an ordinary villager. Rex doesn't believe him, thinking he used a magic item to block the attacks. However, Koji reassures him that he blocked it on his own, and he even displays his status window. The princess accepts his word, but then she asks why he was sheltering a demon from them. This throws him into a panic, but Koji claims that the girl is just his little sister, who is wearing the demon horns as a fashion accessory. Everyone is shocked by this, but Koji shows them his adventurer's quest, explaining that he was simply hunting monsters with his sister. He also shows them the devil horns, which radiate mana similar to demons, so the hero's party reluctantly believes him. Still, despite accepting this flimsy explanation, Rex asks him why the sacred sword is missing from its spot. Koji is confused for a second, but then he recalls that he just stumbled upon the sword one day and sold it for some coins. Hearing this, Rex is outraged, and he tells Koji that the sword belonged to the royal family. Koji acts like he had no idea, and he starts apologizing. However, Rex asks him how he pulled out the sword in the first place, since it was only meant for level 90 heroes to wield. Koji understands his confusion, so he turns around and places his hands on the giant swordstone. In front of their shocked eyes, he easily lifts up the heavy platform, proving his strength without a single word. Rex wonders what level he is, so he finally shows them his ridiculous level 999 rank. The hero refuses to believe he could reach such a ridiculous level, especially since he himself has fought an incredible amount of monsters. However, Kral asks Koji how he'll repay her since he sold off a priceless item from the royal family. She wonders if he will join their party to defeat the demon lord, but he instantly refuses. Rex thinks that Koji is fumbling the bag, since he could easily defeat the demon lord on his own. Koji doesn't care about his ambitions, saying that his only purpose in life is to just make money and survive. He points out that the demon lord never hurt him, so he won't fight him without a reason. While the little girl is surprised, Princess Kroll wonders if the promise of riches and glory is not enough to move his heart. Koji shakes his head, so the princess offers to marry him if he defeats the demon lord for the sake of their suffering people. As Rex begins to protest, Koji refuses Kroll's generous offer without hesitation. Although he doesn't think that the hero's party is evil, he tells them that he's completely uninterested in worldly fame and achievements. Koji also thinks that the princess is being hypocritical by ignoring the suffering of others. After saying this, he starts leaving with the little girl, but stops right beside the hero, Rex. In an ominous tone, Koji warns him that he has no idea how their world truly works. After delivering his warning, he leaves the cavern with the little girl. Once they are outside, Koji begins parting ways with her, but suddenly, she asks him to marry her. Koji immediately tells the girl that there is no chance he is going to marry her, then turns around and walks away. The girl quickly runs after him and keeps trying to change his mind. Koji tells her that he has no interest in marrying someone so young. He explains that he prefers older, more mature women with hourglass figures. The girl refuses to give up. She says it does not have to happen today. She is willing to wait 3 years or even longer if she has to. All she wants is for Koji to promise that he will marry her someday. Ignoring that request for now, Koji asks why she wanted the sacred sword in the first place. The girl explains that her father has become seriously ill. She believed that if a hero obtained the sacred sword, they might end up killing him. Koji hears that and assumes her father must be someone very important if heroes are after him. Curious, he asks who her father is. The girl nervously admits that she is actually the daughter of the Demon King. Koji is surprised by her answer. He casually says that he has run into the Demon King several times in the past. The girl is shocked to hear that. She wonders if that is the reason Koji refused the request to defeat the Demon King. However, Koji says that is not the reason at all. He honestly believes killing the Demon King would not solve anything or make the world a better place. Koji understands that the mana produced by demon horns is what creates monsters, and those monsters naturally attack humans. Because of that, humans already have a reason to fear and hate demons, even if the demons themselves do nothing wrong. The girl says she already knows all of that. Even so, her dream is to create a world where humans and demons can live together in peace. Koji bluntly tells her that her dream is impossible. As long as demons continue producing monsters, humans humans will never be willing to coexist with them. After hearing that, the girl asks why Koji does not want to kill demons like everyone else. Koji simply replies that he thinks the entire conflict is stupid. After saying that, he continues walking away. Meanwhile, Rex and the rest of his party are still frustrated that Koji showed up out of nowhere and completely ruined their plans. Kroll suggests returning to Valmon so they can rethink their strategy. Rex, however, cannot stop thinking about Koji's final words. Before leaving, Koji told him that he understood nothing about how the world really works. Rex is unsure whether Koji was hiding some important truth, but one thing is clear to him: he needs to become much stronger. Meanwhile, Koji notices that the girl is still following him. He reminds her once again that he has no intention of marrying a child like her. The girl quickly says that is not why she is following him anymore. Instead, she asks if he could buy something for her. That finally gets Koji's attention. She explains that she is looking for a medicine called the Spirit's Blessing Potion because she heard it is sold in this town. She proudly says that she has already saved up 500 silver coins and only needs Koji's help to buy it. Koji immediately tells her that 500 silver is nowhere near enough. The Spirit's Blessing Potion actually costs 10 gold coins. After telling her that, he says she should just give up and head home. Just before Koji walks away again, the girl asks if he could lend her the rest of the money. She explains that she has to save her father. If the Demon King dies, she believes humans will immediately begin hunting down the remaining demons as well. Koji tells her that saving her father this one time will not change anything. Humans will simply continue hunting him down until they eventually succeed. Koji assumes she must hate humans because of that. Instead, the girl quietly says that she does not hate them. She believes hatred will never solve anything. She then says that she has made it her lifelong goal to create a future where humans and demons can truly live together in peace. Hearing those words changes Koji's mind. He decides to buy the potion for her after all. Before they leave, Koji walks over to her and wraps a special cloth around her horns. He explains that the cloth changes the mana coming from her horns, allowing it to hide them completely. With the cloth wrapped around them, her horns are concealed, making her look just like a normal human. The girl happily thanks him for helping her. Koji then asks for her name. She introduces herself as Alice, and after that, the two of them leave the forest together. They soon arrive in town, and Alice is amazed by everything she sees, since this is her first time visiting a human town. Every building and every street catches her attention. One of the shopkeepers quickly realizes it is her first visit. Smiling warmly, he gives her a free apple and tells her to come back again whenever she visits. As Koji and Alice continue walking through the busy streets, Alice asks how much the apple normally costs. Koji tells her it costs 150 bronze coins. Hearing that makes Alice remember how the currency works. 10,000 bronze coins are equal to 1 silver coin, while 10,000 silver coins are worth a single gold coin. Koji also reminds her that the Spirit's Blessing Potion is famous as an all-purpose medicine that can cure almost anything. After hearing the actual price, Alice realizes just how unrealistic her plan had been. She now understands that thinking she could buy such a valuable potion with only 500 silver coins was incredibly optimistic. As night falls, the two of them stop at an inn to rest for the evening. Alice lies down on the bed and is amazed by how soft and comfortable it feels. Since she has never stayed at an inn before, she cannot hide her excitement. Meanwhile, Koji packs his bag and gets ready to head back outside. Before leaving, he tells Alice to stay in the room because he is going to buy the Spirit's Blessing Potion. He also explains that he plans to meet up with a friend since they will need one more person to continue the rest of their journey. Koji explains that they will probably run into adventurers who will try to attack Alice during the journey. Because of that, they need someone who can protect her while he focuses on fighting. After explaining the plan, he heads out and tells Alice to lock the door behind him and not let anyone else into the room. Meanwhile, high above the clouds, a frightening demon stands on top of a giant flying bird. With a crazed look in his eye, he quietly mutters that all humans should tremble in fear. A little while later, Alice hears someone knocking on the door. Thinking Koji has returned, she quickly opens it. Instead, she finds herself staring at a huge musclehead. The sight frightens her so much that she immediately freezes in fear. Just then, Koji steps out from behind the large figure and tells Alice that this is the friend he mentioned earlier. The three of them sit down together for some tea, and Koji introduces Alice this to his friend, Takako. Takako explains that he is a level 124 monk, even though he probably does not look like what Alice expected a monk to be. He also says that Koji already told her everything about Alice's situation, and he promises to do everything she can to keep her safe. Takako admits that he once believed every demon deserved to be killed without exception. However, that way of thinking completely changed after he was badly injured in the forest one day. Instead of attacking him, a demon chose to save his life. After that day, Takako quit being an adventurer and decided to live a peaceful life instead. He now spends his time running a bar and a club in town. Wanting to get along with Alice, Takako suggests that the two of them go take a bath together. Alice immediately becomes nervous because she thinks it would be awkward to bathe with a man. Koji quickly clears up the misunderstanding by explaining that Takako is actually a woman. Alice is left completely speechless. She says Takako's chest is as firm as any man's would be, making it hard to believe she is female. Koji casually explains that Takako trained so hard that she burned away all of her breast fat and turned it into muscle. Takako clearly does not appreciate the way he described it. Without warning, she lands a powerful roundhouse kick on Koji, making it obvious that she does not enjoy talking about that subject. A little later, Alice and Takako walk toward the hot spring together. Along the way, Alice points out that Koji is level 999, yet Takako still managed to hurt him with her kick. Takako explains that monks naturally possess about 3 times the physical strength of an ordinary villager. Even so, she admits that she is nowhere near Koji's level and would never stand a chance against him in a real fight. Curious, Alice asks how Koji became so unbelievably strong. Takako guesses that Koji simply spent his childhood fighting countless monsters, which allowed him to keep growing stronger. Even after hearing that explanation, Alice still cannot understand how anyone could possibly reach level 999. Seeing the worried look on Alice's face, Takako assumes she is afraid someone else might one day become just as powerful. Takako reassures her that nobody besides Koji could ever reach that level because he is missing something that every other living person possesses. Alice immediately asks what that mysterious thing is. Takako simply smiles and tells her that she will find out soon enough if she keeps traveling with them. Suddenly, loud crashing noises echo through the town. Everyone looks up and realizes that wild boars are literally falling from the sky. The demon from earlier is the one dropping them from his giant bird. He loudly announces that this is a declaration of war and proclaims that the Demon King's army has officially begun its all-out assault against humanity. The bloody buffers immediately begin rampaging through the streets, attacking innocent civilians. Watching the chaos unfold, Alice sadly realizes that this only pushes humans and demons even farther away from ever living together peacefully. Koji wastes no time reacting. Instead of attacking with magic, he starts grabbing the wild boars one after another and throws them high into the sky. He figures he can collect their mana stones later and earn a nice reward from the Adventurers Guild. The demon notices what is happening and stares in disbelief. He cannot understand who could possibly be strong enough to throw giant monsters through the air so effortlessly. A short time later, Rex and the rest of his party arrive at the scene. Rex immediately shows off his strength by firing a powerful lightning spell that destroys one of the giant birds before it can release another bloody buffer. As he prepares to fire another spell, his attack is suddenly blocked by one of the boars that Koji had thrown into the air. The moment Krull notices Koji, she becomes visibly annoyed. She immediately assumes he must have been working with the Demon King all along. Koji calmly tells her that she is completely wrong. He then points out how terrible their strategy is. If they keep firing powerful attacks at enemies one by one, any missed attack could fall back down and accidentally kill innocent civilians. To make his point even clearer, Koji lightly taps Krull on the head while reminding her that the plan is terrible. Hearing that, Rex and the others suddenly realize something important. Koji has been throwing the boars with his own strength instead of attacking them with magic. That can only mean one thing, that Koji cannot use magic at all. Alice and Takako arrive shortly afterward, and Alice is shocked when she learns that someone as powerful as Koji does not possess any magic. Meanwhile, the demon continues shouting from the sky, declaring that resistance is meaningless because nobody can escape the Demon King's army. Koji turns toward Alice and asks if she recognizes the demon leading the attack. Alice says she believes his name is Menno. He is one of the Demon King's King's trusted dignitaries, and his family has served the Demon King for generations. Kroll then walks over to Koji and formally introduces herself. She explains that after seeing how powerful he is, she came up with a plan to display humanity's strength so the demons would know better than to challenge them. Koji immediately says that the idea is incredibly stupid. He explains that revealing all of their strongest fighters is the worst thing they could do. If the Demon King is launching attacks across the entire world, then he is probably trying to identify the strongest places to invade first. Koji also says they need to learn exactly what the Demon King is trying to accomplish before making any big decisions. Because of that, he decides that speaking directly with Menno is the best option. Without another word, Koji suddenly leaps high into the sky, completely shocking everyone watching below. Takako quickly jumps after him and uses her legs to kick him even higher, launching him the rest of the way through the air. A few moments later, Koji lands directly on top of the giant bird in front of Menno. Menno stares at him in complete disbelief and asks who he is. Koji calmly introduces himself as nothing more than a random villager who just happened to be passing by. Shocked, Menno wonders how he jumped high enough to land on his Helcro. Koji explains that a certain human-faced gorilla threw him up, but his joke doesn't make the demon laugh. Angered, he attacks Koji with a spell. Unfortunately, the attack only affects Koji's shirt. Surprised to see him completely unharmed, Menno wonders if Koji is the hero. His surprise only increases after seeing his level 999 villager status. Menno adapts quickly, realizing that Koji might be the biggest threat from humanity's side. However, Koji reassures him that he doesn't want to kill the Demon King. He explains that he's friends with Alice, but Menno refuses to trust him so soon. Koji then tells him that Princess Alice is actually resting in the very city he is attacking. Shocked, Menno wonders if Koji is a secret ally to the demons. Koji shakes his head, saying that he's a neutral party. Hearing this, Menno asks why he's still interfering in the battle. Koji asks him if the Demon Lord personally ordered this invasion, but Menno only laughs it off. However, Koji gets serious. He explains that Alice told the Demon Lord is sick. Hearing this, Menno is surprised, since he didn't know about the Demon Lord's condition. Seeing his reaction, Koji asks the demon if the Demon Lord truly gave him the order for an invasion. If so, he makes it clear that he will personally kill the Demon Lord. Menno begins to think, wondering why Koji is so sure that the Demon Lord didn't give him an order. Then, he realizes something. When Menno was in the Demon Lord's Grand Palace, the Demon Lord himself did not speak to him. Instead, it was his closest advisor who told him that the Demon Lord had ordered an invasion. At the time, Menno didn't suspect anything, so he carried out the orders. Still, he wonders why this makes any difference, since the Demon Lord did not object to his advisor's words. At this, Koji points out the possibility that the Demon Lord was somehow manipulated. Menno gets furious, thinking he is insulting his leader's authority. Koji raises a hand in surrender, so Menno decides to turn back and investigate the Demon Lord's condition on his own. Suddenly, Koji starts jumping around and killing all of the Helcros. Explaining that he's just making some money, he continues destroying the entire demon fleet. On the ground, the hero's party watches with shock as Koji takes out each crow one by one. Nearby, some healers ask them for help, so everyone rushes to assist them with the wounded. In the sky, Menno asks Koji why he's preventing him from returning home. Koji reminds him that if the Demon Lord is being controlled, the true mastermind would also consider Menno a threat. In Koji's eyes, Menno should use the defeated Helcros as an excuse to go missing in action and sneak back into the palace later. After saying this, he kills the final Helcro, causing both of them to fall from the sky. As both of them hurtle to the ground, Menno screams in horror. Koji thinks they'll probably survive, but his confidence is less than reassuring. Later, Menno wakes up on the ground with Koji looking right at him. Since demons have strong bodies, it's not surprising that Menno survived. However, he finds it hard to believe that Koji shrugged off that massive fall while being a human. Koji doesn't care about his surprise. Instead, he continues to gather all the coins that fell from the defeated Helcros. Finally realizing that he's not an enemy, Menno introduces himself to him. After explaining that he has served the Demon Lord for 3 years, he wonders why Koji isn't trying to to kill him. Koji explains that since Menno is close to his friend Alice, he would never hurt him. Surprised, Menno wonders why he's so caring towards a demon. Koji thinks he's asking a dumb question. He points out that although demons create mana, they don't directly threaten humans with their existence. Instead, it is the monsters created by the mana that cause both humans and demons to fight each other. In Koji's eyes, people should focus on keeping the monsters at bay instead of being at each other's throats. He then tells Menno that he'll return to him the next day with Alice to visit the Demon Lord's palace. Menno is stunned, since Koji's actions would basically make him a traitor to the humans and an enemy of the demon mastermind. Koji smiles, saying that he's simply fulfilling a promise he made to Alice. Once he leaves, Menno smiles, thinking that his princess has made a strange friend. The next day, Alice thanks Koji for sparing Menno's life. He explains that the demon commander was actually pretty reasonable, so it was no big deal to spare him. Then, he wonders what Takako is doing. Alice explains that she went out to buy groceries for their trip to the demon palace. Koji thinks that he should arrange the transportation before Takako returns. Alice reminds him that it was only supposed to take 6 days to reach the palace. However, Koji explains that 6 days is only possible on the back of a flying crow. Since they have more people now, they'll need to make the trip on the ground. However, ground travel will also be difficult, since they cannot take horses. Alice wonders why horses are forbidden, so Koji explains that they are afraid of demon mana. Although the young Alice can retain her mana with his cloth, Menno's presence will make it impossible for the horses to stay calm. In the end, Koji reluctantly admits that there is still a ground transport they can take. Alice gets excited, so he shows her the transportation method in person. It's actually a centaur carriage, led by arrogant centaurs who consider themselves superior to humans. Despite their tough attitude, the centaurs are literal perverts who would do anything to get whipped. Watching their strange reactions, even Koji feels uncomfortable, so he refuses to use them as transport. This time, Alice also remains back and lets the centaurs leave. Once Takako returns, they all go to Menno's location in the forest. He apologizes to Alice for attacking the town she was resting in, but she forgives him since it was done unintentionally. Then, he also thanks Koji for sparing his life and bringing his princess back safe and sound. Suddenly, Takako jumps in to admire Menno's handsome looks. The poor guy gets terrified of her, so Alice gets offended. She tells Menno that Takako is a good person looking after her, so he calms down. Suddenly, the hero's party pops out from the bushes around them. Now that they've confirmed that Koji is with the demons, they think he is on the enemy's side. Without giving him a chance to explain, they accuse him of leading the demon attack on the town. Facing their accusations, Koji remains completely calm. Kroll claims that she won't let him escape his punishment, so he suddenly appears in front of her. Before she can react, he bumps her head, pointing out that she doesn't even have the power to threaten him. Rex gets angry and tries to attack him, but Koji dodges his slow slashes. He tells the dumb hero to quit flailing around, but Rex remains stubborn. He claims that his job is to destroy the demons, who are a bunch of evil creatures in his eyes. Parna also points out that a lot of people were hurt by Menno's attack. Hearing this, Koji actually admits his wrong. He tells Menno to apologize to everyone, but Menno gets angry. He reminds the humans that the demons have been suffering way worse due to their actions, but Rex refuses to listen to him. He claims that demons and anyone who supports them are objectively evil, which causes Koji to get angry. He reminds Rex that before he knew about Alice's identity, he didn't attack her at all. At the time, he obviously didn't consider the harmless girl a threat to humanity. Now, Koji reveals that she is not only a demon, but also the Demon King's daughter. He asks whether that same girl has suddenly become an evil monster in their eyes. The revelation leaves everyone shocked. Koji admits that the mana released by the Demon Lord creates monsters, so he won't stop the hero from attacking him. However, he just wants the humans to admit that the demons can't control their mana, so they don't deserve to be hunted down. After declaring this, he breaks Rex's sword. As the hero backs away, Tina asks Koji if Menno at least deserves to be punished for the attack. Hearing this, Koji forces the stubborn demon to bow down and apologize. Still, Tina thinks they should arrest Menno for leading the attack. At this, Koji asks the humans for some time, explaining that he needs Menno's help to investigate the Demon Lord's condition. He explains that the demon attack might not have been ordered by the Demon Lord, which shocks the hero's party. Koji tells them that the Demon Lord is sick, and he has always wanted peace with with humans. Rex thinks he's lying, since there's no way a human would know the Demon Lord's intentions. However, Koji reveals that he has personally met the Demon Lord, so he knows what he's like. In addition, he asks the humans if the demons have ever led an invasion like this before. Hearing this, all of the hero party members admit that they've never been attacked by the demons in their cities before. Koji tells them to set their prejudice aside and give his words a real thought, but Parna gets angry. She blasts a fireball at him, saying that he might have been brainwashed by the demons. Seeing that the humans won't believe him no matter what, Koji decides it's time to stop negotiating. Suddenly, he signals to Takako and runs away, leaving the humans outraged. Although they try to chase Koji's group, Tina stumbles and falls, so they are forced to remain behind for her. While escaping, Koji complains to Alice that coexisting with humans is not peaceful at all. She points out that the heroes' party actually listened to him this time, so it was still a win for them. Unfortunately, once they get to safety, Menno brings them a certain transport vehicle. It's the same centaurs from before, who somehow agreed to serve Menno. Unfortunately, as Takako drives the centaurs, everyone on the carriage ends up traumatized for life. Meanwhile, the heroes' party wonders what to do next. Rex feels unsettled by Koji's words, while Parna tells everyone to get ready for a trip to the Demon Lord's castle. Seeing her casual attitude, Rex wonders if Koji's words didn't affect her at all. Hearing this, images of her childhood sweetheart flash through Parna's mind. Her innocent lover was brutally snatched away from her by a demon attack, so she would never forgive them. Later that night, Koji's group sets up camp to rest. Takako reviews their route, noting that they need to stop at the city of Salmeria to rest before making the rest of the trip. However, since Menno cannot disguise his mana, Koji warns him to stay hidden once they arrive at the human city. Then, Koji realizes something. Since Valmon was attacked on the orders the demon mastermind, he wonders if Salmeria is also a target. Hearing this, Menno explains that the previous attacks were just to declare war on the humans. In reality, the demons are brewing a massive army to begin the real invasion. Knowing this, both Koji and Takako realize that the fortress town of Salmeria might be the demons' next target since it's closer to the Demon Lord's palace. The next day, they arrive at Salmeria's gate. To disguise the demons on their carriage, Koji decides to act like he's a magic materials merchant. However, the gate guard becomes suspicious after sensing demonic mana coming from the carriage. Just then, Alice pops out and shows him a blue devil horn. Koji claims that he's got a lot of horns with him, which are the source of the mana. He claims that he's only here for sightseeing with his sister, so the guard smiles. The guard thinks he must be here for the parade, which surprises Koji. He learns from the guard that the demons have been attacking Salmeria, so the Salmerian forces are throwing a parade before they lead a force to fight back against them. Soon, they enter the city, where they catch the parade live. Koji doesn't feel the festive mood, since he thinks the humans are being careless. If the demons attacked them in this moment, they would be caught off guard. If Salmeria were truly besieged, Koji thinks there would be no way to talk either the humans or the demons out of the war. To prevent this, he decides that they'll reach the Demon Lord's palace and stop the demons before they get a chance to attack. Takako thinks he's being too reckless. She also wonders what he would do if the Demon Lord were truly behind all these attacks. Koji confidently claims that he'll fight the Demon Lord if this is the case. However, he would only fight as a person on the side of the peacemakers. Hearing this, Alice smiles. Although she loves her father, she wants the world to be at peace, so she also declares that she'll be on Koji's side if the Demon Lord turns out to be an invader. Inside the carriage, Menno faces a tough decision since he serves both the Demon Lord and Alice. In the end, he decides to take Alice's side for the sake of peace. Later that night, Koji notes that Salmeria's west gate is closed as a precaution against the demons. Still, he thinks they'll have to sneak out of that gate the next day to move towards the demon palace. He buys some ice cream for Alice, who finds it delicious. Then, he realizes that they skipped dinner before dessert, so he takes her to a restaurant. Inside, he somehow finds the heroes' party having dinner. Shocked, Koji escapes while the heroes chase after him. After hiding in an alley, he notes a parade demonstration nearby. Alice wonders what it is, so Koji explains that the humans are killing a weak monster to show off their strength to the common people. Out of nowhere, a massive demon jumps out and stomps the weak demonstration monster. Panicking, the humans quickly escape since the demon wasn't part of the show. However, an entire army of hellbeasts jump into the city, and Koji Koji gets a headache, realizing that the attack has begun early. He quickly attacks and kills the monster in one blow. Without waiting, he rushes over to check the other parts of the streets as Alice follows behind. Meanwhile, the hero's party feels frustrated after losing track of Koji once more. Tina thinks they should ask the locals to assist with their search. Rex refuses, so she wonders why. He explains that Koji's loyalties are unpredictable, so if the common citizens corner him, he could hurt them in response. Kroll doesn't agree with Rex. She thinks that if Koji really wanted to hurt them, he could have easily done it in their past meetings. Also, she thinks that he's not an evil person, even if he's working with the demons. Hearing this, Parna gets offended. She reminds Kroll that Koji is on the side of the same species that is attacking their cities. Kroll is startled by her anger, but she explains that when they tried to attack Koji, he simply avoided their attacks. In addition, he only tried to negotiate and never tried to fight back. After seeing his peaceful attitude, she thinks that he might truly be a better person than he seems. Parna still isn't convinced, but Rex also agrees with Kroll. For now, he decides to let Koji go. Hearing this, Parna gets even angrier. She accuses Rex of growing sympathy for the demons, but he explains that he just wants to hear Koji out. Kroll and Tina both side with him, so Parna is forced to consider their thoughts. Suddenly, chaos erupts in the streets near them. Worried about the parade, Kroll runs to check out the commotion. She finds a man collapsed on the ground, about to be attacked by a vicious demon. Thankfully, Kroll makes it in time and protects the man with a barrier spell. The man thanks her for the help, but he asks her to leave him and run for her life. Kroll refuses, saying that it's her duty as a royal to protect her kingdom's people. Under the demon's relentless assault, her shield eventually breaks and the demon roars loudly. It launches a powerful attack at the defenseless man and Kroll. Out of nowhere, Koji pops up and blocks the attack. He praises Kroll for her selfless actions before killing the demon with one blow. Then, he thanks her for distracting the demon long enough to protect the man. Kroll tells the man to escape, so he gets up and leaves. Then, the rest of the hero's party catches up with them. In front of their shocked eyes, Kroll sincerely thanks Koji for saving her life. Rex wonders what happened, so Koji tells him that he just killed a level 231 monster. Unable to believe it, he asks what skill he used. Koji tells him that he used Charge Blow, but this shocks him even more. Normally, Charge Blow is a basic skill, so it's shocking to think that it can be used to defeat a massive monster. However, Kroll explains that she personally witnessed it, so Koji is speaking the truth. Then, Alice also comes running over to Koji. As she hides behind him, Rex tells Koji that they need to discuss a lot of things. Nearby, explosions ring out as the other demons continue attacking the city. Koji tells everyone to forget their discussions and focus on protecting the city for now. Hearing this, Parna wonders whose side he's really on. Offended by her accusation, he firmly declares that he's neutral. Soon, a soldier runs over and warns everyone to evacuate the city. Rex thinks he's having trouble with the monsters, so he offers to fight with the other soldiers. However, the man tells him that the monsters inside the city are not the biggest issue. He reveals that outside, a massive horde of over 10,000 monsters is marching right over to their city. Koji asks the man if he's sure of this information, so the soldier tells him he witnessed it with his own 2 eyes. Tina notes that the Demon Lord's castle is to the west of this city, so the monster horde marching towards them must be made of high-level monsters. Since this is the case, the city of Selmaria is toast once the monsters arrive. Hearing this, Koji falls into thought. Parna wonders what they should do, so Rex suggests evacuating the city for now. Since they cannot fight the monsters at the moment, it's pointless to throw their lives away. Instead, he thinks they should regroup and return to Selmaria later to retake it. Parna and Kroll agree, so they tell the soldier to carry out the evacuation orders. Then, Kroll asks Koji to help her. He nods and tells her that he'll call his friends from the inn. For the time being, he entrusts Alice to her care. Rex is surprised by this, and he reminds Koji that he considers demons his greatest enemy. He wonders if Koji isn't afraid for Alice's life at all. Koji points out that if he really wanted to kill Alice, he wouldn't have warned him in the first place. While Alice watches, worried, Koji reminds the hero that he's the only one who has the answers to his questions. Before he can get those answers, Rex will get no benefit from hurting Alice. However, Parna interjects. She asks Koji what he would do if they simply don't like his answers. She wonders what he would do if the humans betrayed him and captured Alice as a bargaining tool against the demons. demon lord. Hearing this, he sighs and asks her to keep the girl safe. The heroes watch as Koji humbly trusts them with the little girl. Finally, he says goodbye to Alice and leaves. After that, Parna teases Alice for getting abandoned. Somehow, Alice doesn't think this way. Since Koji trusts the heroes' party enough to leave her with them, she decides to trust them as well. Parna is surprised by her cleverness, while Krull smiles and hugs Alice from behind. Since she has already promised Koji to keep her safe, she reassures Alice that she'll do nothing harmful to her. Krull admits that she also trusts Koji, knowing that the young girl with him is completely harmless. Watching this scene, Parna feels upset, but all she can do is leave. Meanwhile, as the city plunges into chaos, Koji rushes somewhere else. Soon, Takako and Menno catch up with the heroes' party. The moment they see Alice with them, they assume she has been kidnapped, causing Menno to become enraged. Alice rushes over to them, safe and sound, leaving Takako confused as well. Alice can't understand why they don't trust the humans since Koji was supposed to inform them about the situation. Rex wonders if Menno and Takako are the two men Koji went to fetch. Hearing this, Takako gets offended that he assumed her gender. Alice tells everyone that she's a woman, which shocks even Menno. In any case, Takako gets furious at the heroes' party for kidnapping little Alice. Seeing her fury, the heroes almost wet their pants. Krull quickly explains that Koji himself handed Alice to her for protection. She also explains that he was supposed to get his friends from the inn. However, Takako reveals that he never came by. Although Menno is relieved that his princess is safe, Alice wonders where Koji really went. Suddenly, a soldier rushes over and informs them that a madman is out there fighting the entire monster horde by himself. Everyone instantly realizes that it's Koji. Alice understands why Koji left. If the monster horde occupies Salmeria, it would create a permanent hatred between demons and humans. Left with no other choice, he's trying to deflect the monster horde on his own to buy some time. Takako picks up Alice and rushes to the battlefield with Menno, and the heroes' party follows suit. Meanwhile, on the battlefield, Koji is exhausted after fighting off an onslaught of countless demons. Despite his incredibly high level, even he can't fend off 10,000 monsters on his own. As the fight continues, Takako and the heroes' party catch up to Koji. Rex wonders why Koji is taking on such a dangerous mission, so Takako tells him that he simply doesn't want anyone to die. She reveals that Koji is fighting for both humans and demons to peacefully coexist, which shocks everyone. However, Rex still points out how reckless he's being. Takako explains that Koji doesn't care about danger at all. Unlike most people, he does not carry a fear of death. Instead, he does his best to fight for his ideals, no matter the situation. As she continues her explanation, Rex watches Koji fighting the monsters. Despite being massively outnumbered, Koji continues to kill enemy monsters, slowly regenerating his injuries with a passive skill. Impressed, Rex wonders why Koji is so determined to fight to the bitter end. Hearing this, Takako tells him that Koji actually has a similar motivation to his. In the past, Rex's family was killed by monsters while they were traveling, so he swore to take revenge on all the demons that created them. Koji faced something similar, as one day, his father was killed by a monster. Throughout his childhood, Koji loved to fight monsters to earn his livelihood. However, as he leveled up, he understood that his villager class was the weakest of them all. Each fight was extremely dangerous, and one mistake could cost him his entire life. After learning this, Koji almost quit fighting against monsters, wanting to surrender his fate to the humans of stronger classes. However, one day, a monster attacked his father and killed him right in front of Koji's eyes. Since that day, he grew a hatred for all monsters. Most of all, Koji hated himself for being too weak to protect his loved one. From that day on, he started training against monsters despite the incredible danger. In the midst of it, Koji realized that the villager class did come with one benefit over all other classes. Although a villager's starting point is incredibly weak, they also gain XP at an incredibly fast rate as a reward for killing even a single monster. With this knowledge, he continued training until he became strong enough to kill the monster that took his father's life. Koji returned home, happy to deliver the good news to his family. However, once he got there, he found the entire village burning and destroyed. It turned out that a group of bandits had raided and pillaged the entire village. Shocked, the young boy rushed to his house, where he found his mother dead from the bandits' attack. In the past, when a monster had killed his father, Koji swore to kill all monsters as revenge. Now, as he realized realized that it was a group of humans who took his mother's life. He wondered if swearing vengeance on all humans was the right thing to do. This comparison made Koji realize the error of his previous ways, so he changed the way he thought. Instead of blaming an entire species or group for the actions of a few, he decided to only hold the evil people accountable. Hearing this, Rex admits that he used to think the same way. Now, he realizes that he has also gone too far in his hatred of the demons. However, Krull doesn't think that they should forgive demons so easily. Even Koji told her that demons are harmful because of the monsters they create. Still, he does his best to help both humans and demons coexist. Krull wants to know why Koji is so determined for coexistence, so she decides to help him survive for the sake of her own questions. Behind her, Tina and Parna agree to support her as well. As the hero's party rushes to help Koji, Menno asks Alice what she wants to do. Naturally, she wants to help Koji, so Menno agrees to carry out her orders, even if it means he'll betray the demons. After he leaves, Takako tells Alice to hide while she helps Koji against the monsters. Meanwhile, Koji starts feeling it on the battlefield. Against the endless monster army, even his powerful healing skills are lagging behind. Still, he continues to fight fearlessly, killing as many monsters as he can. After a while, the monsters overwhelm him and capture him in an iron grip. As Koji is restrained, a monster starts charging an attack to blow him up. Suddenly, Rex strikes from the sky, killing the monsters with a lightning slash. Koji is shocked, but the hero tells him there's no way he'll let a villager fight alone. Then, Menno unleashes an attack, wiping out a group of flying monsters from the sky. Takako also charges in, reducing the pressure by killing some more monsters. With everyone present, Koji is surprised that they all came for him. Tina walks over and heals him up, while Parna says that she won't let him fight alone. However, Koji feels worried that his weaker friends will die against the monsters. Krull refuses to back down, promising that she won't let anyone die today. Seeing his friend's determination, Koji regains his own fire. He stands up, announcing that they'll fight as many monsters as they can before running for their lives. With his stamina restored, he rushes in and kills some more monsters. One of them gets him with a massive rock, but Koji remains calm despite his injuries. Tina quickly heals him, wondering why he's being so reckless. Koji smiles, saying that he can be reckless since his friends are covering for him, with every person fighting earnestly on his side. For the first time, Koji thinks he can rely on his friends. After that, he continues to fight the monsters with his friends. As the intense fight goes on, Alice decides to do something instead of watching from the sidelines. She heads back into the city, hoping to rope in some other adventurers. Meanwhile, Takako asks Rex to leave the stronger monsters to her. He gets offended, saying that he's more than capable of fighting the tough monsters as well. However, as Takako rips through the monster horde, he learns that she has a defense-ignoring skill. Hearing this, Rex realizes the gap in strength between himself and this random adventurer. Despite his hero class, he needs to get much stronger to compare to Koji and his friends. Seeing them argue, Koji reminds everyone to work together. Parna points out that he's been fighting solo all this time as well. He asks her if she can use area attack magic, but Parna feels offended by his awful nickname. Krull chimes in, explaining that she can use area attack magic as well. Hearing this, Koji carries both of the women and jumps into the air. Although they are shocked at first, they realize what he wants them to do. In the air, he uses them as living missile launchers, taking out the flying demons. After using their abilities, he drops both girls to the ground. Back in the city, the Salmarian adventurers are discussing the war situation against the high-level monster horde. All of them think that their city is doomed. Suddenly, Alice's high-pitched voice calls out to them. As time passes and the sun rises over the horizon, the battle still continues. Knowing that his friends are exhausted, Koji tells everyone to abandon ship. However, they all refuse to leave, knowing that he'll just sacrifice himself to help them escape. Koji remains silent since he can't force them to leave. However, he feels worried for their lives as the endless monster horde continues to attack. Just when things look hopeless, Alice calls out to him. Koji turns back, surprised to see her with all of the Salmarian adventurers by her side. Encouraged by Koji and his friends' display of courage, the adventurers roar and join the fray against the monsters. Alice explains that last night, she asked them to join Koji in the fight. Initially, the adventurers thought it was a death sentence, since none of them were strong enough to face the monsters. However, as they continued to watch Koji's party fight the endless horde with zero fear, their hearts burned with the desire to support them. Now, they all fight with everyone on the line for the sake of their city. Alice thinks that it's Koji's immense courage that gave everyone else the strength to stand beside him. However, he points out that she's responsible for bringing these adventurers here. Without her request, they would have continued to hide inside the city, forcing Koji and the others to lay down their lives. With this new manpower on their side, Koji thinks they finally have the strength to defeat the entire monster horde. He leads everyone and begins a renewed assault on the monster forces. After a while, the adventurers get exhausted from the fighting. Even Rex, the hero, is forced to his knees from sheer fatigue, even as the healers try to make him rest. He tries to keep fighting. He points out that Koji has been fighting without rest, but Tina explains that this isn't the case. Unlike normal adventurers, Koji doesn't need potions and rest to heal, since he has a passive healing skill. Hearing this, Rex finally backs down and leaves things to him. Watching him fight, Rex admits that Koji's abilities are truly amazing. Aside from his incredible skills and strength, he thinks that Koji can fight for so long because of his unwavering determination. Now, he understands that Koji is so determined because he fights for a cause he believes in. However, Parna still feels upset, wondering why he doesn't help the humans take over the world with his incredible power. Eventually, Menno and Takako also return, exhausted. Alice rushes over to take care of Menno. Watching the demons together, Parna holds out her hand to attack them. Suddenly, Takako appears behind her. She warns Parna not to take any action before hearing Koji's answers, so she finally backs off. Suddenly, everyone hears an unfamiliar voice on the battlefield. The ground starts shaking, and soon, a massive robotic golem appears in front of everyone. In this world of magic and swords, nobody has seen such advanced technology before. Menno wonders how strong this monster is, but Takako thinks they shouldn't risk fighting it. She asks Koji to give the retreat order, but he doesn't seem too scared. Instead, he rushes straight in. To everyone's shock, the iron golem swats him away like a fly. Seeing this, the Salmarian adventurers finally lose their hopes and escape from the battlefield. Alice checks on the injured Koji, who tells her to run away. With trembling hands, she insists she's fine, refusing to leave his side. Kroll comes over with a health potion, reminding him to stay healthy for the sake of his friends as well. From a distance, someone watches Koji with his friends. This person is Estelor, the demon lord's right-hand man. He smiles coldly as he pinpoints Koji as the biggest source of trouble for his monster army. Watching Menno and Alice stand by Koji's side, Estelor doesn't seem upset. As he continues watching calmly, Koji walks towards him, refreshed from the health potion. Knowing that Estelor doesn't want to fight, Koji warns him that he'll keep attacking his iron golem until he backs off. He smiles, welcoming Koji's attack. Rex thinks that the demon general is being too careless against Koji. However, Estelor already seems to know about Koji's level 999. He admits that reaching the highest level is an incredible feat, but in the end, Koji is still a villager. In reality, even a level 300 hero has stronger base stats than a level 999 villager. As if to prove his point, Koji attacks the robot, which causes no damage. Still, Kroll thinks that his high level must have given him access to advanced skills. Hearing this, Estelor admits that Koji's self-regeneration skill is quite impressive. Aside from this, however, he thinks that Koji has no other tricks up his sleeve. Although the villager class gains levels the quickest, it also receives access to some of the worst skills in the world. Because of this, Estelor thinks that Koji has no chance against his robot. In the face of Estelor's taunts, Koji remains confident. Estelor warns him to give up, but he knows that the demons aren't looking to kill anyone. Hearing this, Estelor reveals that he only wants to take over Salmaria. Alice reminds him that the demon lord wouldn't want this. At this, Estelor grins. He agrees with her and claims that the demon lord would give them the same answer if they asked him right now. Hearing this, everyone is confused, so he reveals that the demon lord is trapped inside the iron golem's body. Because the demon lord had a peaceful policy, Estelor gradually drugged him to the point where he couldn't resist. Now, he is using the Demon Lord's near endless mana to power the Golem, which he calls the Messiah. Estelar declares that he will destroy humanity with the Messiah. However, Koji wonders why he's not killing anyone despite his motives. Estelar doesn't answer this, so Koji doesn't think about it either. Knowing that Estelar has trapped Alice's father against his will, Koji declares that he'll save the Demon Lord and Salmeria from him. Estelar is surprised that he's willing to help the demons, but he thinks there's no way he can fight the Messiah. Still, Koji keeps charging again and again, each attack resulting in utter failure. After every failure, he gets back up and tries again. His determination causes even Estelar to be surprised. Eventually, Koji gains incredible speed and lands a solid hit on the Messiah. Then, he starts pummeling it with rapid fire blows. The Golem fights back, sending him flying. However, Estelar has completely lost his composure at this point. Now, he wonders how Koji can create a different result despite trying the same attack over and over again. Krull and Alice rush to Koji's side, warning him to stop fighting. They point out that even the potions have stopped working, but Koji refuses to back down. In the end, Parna heals him with her healing magic, wondering why he's struggling so much. She asks him to spill everything, so Koji starts telling her about his childhood. Takako guiltily explains that she has already told everyone about his father, so Koji skips to the good part. He tells everyone that as he killed monsters for experience, he started questioning the world. Though young Koji was fueled by his father's death, he wondered why everyone in the world was born with a class and a stat window. He wondered why monsters turned into coins, and why humans and demons were constantly at war with no explanation. Eventually, he decided that he would discover the reality of the class system in their world. At the moment, Koji thinks that most people live their lives according to the classes they are born with. Instead of deciding their dreams for the future, they let the world predetermine a role for them at birth. Koji asks Rex about this, wondering if he had always been this heroic, or if he forced himself to act as a hero to fulfill the duties of his class. Hearing this, Rex admits that he wasn't always so noble. Koji thinks that everyone should have a choice to become who they want to be. However, their strict world forces them into picking a role against their will. When he first reached level 999, Koji felt despair, knowing that he had no more room left to grow. Hearing this, Estelar wonders why he still continues to fight. Koji reveals that upon reaching this level, he unlocked a unique skill called the One Who Challenges God. This skill came from his determination to go against the world, so it converts all the experience points beyond level 999 into increased strength, since someone has designed their world to keep the demons and humans at war forever. Koji wants to rebel against them and kick their butt. After declaring this, he starts powering up, releasing a terrifying aura. Aside from his unique skill, Koji reveals that he has one final trick up his sleeve. It's a skill called Limit Breaker, which allows him to use double his current strength, at the cost of paralyzing his body after the battle. Faced with the unbeatable Messiah, he thinks it's time to put Limit Breaker to use. Koji jumps to the sky and crashes onto the Messiah with incredible force, tearing through it with one blow. Inside the Golem's depths, he finds the Demon Lord trapped. A few minutes later, the Demon Lord wakes up safe and sound to the sight of his own daughter. Koji feels glad that he's safe, but he's unable to move his body from the side effects of the Limit Breaker. As the Demon Lord notices him, he recognizes Koji from his memories and thanks him for his help. Alice explains that the rest of the party also helped. Hearing this, the Demon Lord looks around and spots Rex, the hero. He wonders if Rex wants to kill him, but Rex hesitates. However, Parna jumps in, ready to accept his offer. Seeing this, the Demon Lord laughs, but Krull points out that Parna no longer has any mana left to attack. Then, the Demon Lord forcefully asks Estelar why he rebelled. Estelar claims that the Demon Lord was too scared of taking the next step, so he forced him to take action. Koji wonders what this next step is, so Estelar smiles, knowing that Koji wants to confront the creator of the class system. He tells Koji there are two ways to learn their identity. First, he can kill the Demon Lord. Koji instantly rejects this, so Estelar tells him that the other way is to purchase a nameless, expensive item sold by adventurer guilds. Hearing this, Koji recalls an extremely expensive item, so Estelar is surprised by his knowledge. Suddenly, he waves his hand and teleports the Demon Lord away. For the time being, he will keep the Demon Lord hostage. Seeing how much Estelar knows, Koji wonders if he's still loyal to the Demon Lord. Estelar admits that he he is loyal to the Demon Lord, but only because he was assigned this duty by someone else. He warns Koji that if he can't purchase the nameless item within 1 year, he will return with the Demon Lord and fight until one of his friends loses their life. After saying this, Estelar disappears, and the monster horde finally turns back. Everyone asks Koji what to do next, so he thinks they should open a casino to make money as quickly as possible. Some days later, Parna visits the royal capital of Hexandria, where she requests a direct audience with the king. As the king learns that his daughter has sided with the demons, he is shocked. Throughout her childhood, he taught Kroll that the demons were the worst enemy of humanity, so now he's surprised that she's taking their side. Now, the king wonders why Parna didn't fall for Koji's words, since she's reporting this to him. He wonders if she wants a reward in return. However, Parna refuses, saying that the only thing she wants is the complete annihilation of all demons. Afterward, she thinks back to her childhood, recalling memories of her relative. Knowing that the demons took him away from her, she just cannot forgive their crime. Meanwhile, back in Valmon, Rex starts recruiting employees for Koji's casino. As the citizens read his flyers, all of them feel skeptical. Even though the casino offers decent money, none of them can trust Rex's words. Just a few days ago, he was recruiting adventurers for his party, but now, all of a sudden, he's opening a casino. Seeing this, they all wonder if he's just a scammer. Watching everyone leave, Rex wonders what he's doing wrong. Kroll also wonders why no one's interested even though they're offering a good salary. Koji is also confused, so he asks Rex to stop advertising. Tina gets mad at Koji, pointing out that he didn't even think about hiring the staff before opening. At this, Koji tells her he was busy with other chores. After obtaining a rare treasure, he was focused on making a mana concealment item for Menno. In any case, they need to make the casino work somehow. In order to buy the rare item Estelar wanted, they need to gather 10,000 gold coins. Koji already has 5,000, so that leaves the other half. Unfortunately, a gold coin takes way too long to earn. Even if they win a local lottery, they'll only get 5 gold coins at most. Tina thinks that Koji was too reckless in accepting Estelar's challenge, while Krull feels sad that Parna isn't with them. Some time ago, Parna had decided to leave their party. Although she understood Koji's motivation for fulfilling Estelar's demand, she had pointed out that Rex created this party to kill the Demon Lord. However, after working with Koji, it looked like Rex's motivations had changed to creating peace between humans and demons. Because of this, Parna wasn't interested since her goal was to kill all demons. After explaining her reasons, she left their party and went to the capital. Koji doesn't think they need Parna's advice, so he starts adjusting his job flyers on his own. Unfortunately, Tina quickly points out that all of his adjustments make their hiring post look even worse, since Koji has no idea what he's doing. They decide to hand out their original flyers in a few other areas instead. Later that day, Alice stands in a street advertising their job to random passers-by. While standing there, she feels happy to work with the team. Back when Parna left their group, Koji had asked Krull if she wanted to follow her. However, the princess refused to do so. From her childhood, she had always been taught how to think about the world. Now, with Koji, she had learned that there is much more to the world than endless hate. Because of this, she wanted to stay with him to learn even more before making her choice. Hearing this, Koji smiled and offered to teach her everything he knew. He also asked Rex about his choice. Rex said the same thing as Krull and declared that he would seriously study under Koji. In fact, he was so serious that he took Koji as his master out of respect. Tina, who was relying on everyone to grow, naturally decided to stay with them. Knowing all this, Alice feels happy that she has friends who are willing to stand by her side even during times of difficulty. Suddenly, a large man steps close to her, covering her entire body with his shadow. The man speaks in a formal tone, explaining that he's here to take Princess Krull away. Suddenly, Koji instantly starts shouting, claiming that the man is a disgusting creep trying to approach a minor with bad intentions. Hearing this, all the people in the street get disgusted by the man. Alice is startled by Koji's sudden outburst, leaving the poor man completely devastated. However, Koji keeps shouting, so soon enough, some guards arrive and take the man away for questioning. While the guards drag him away, Koji tries to leave with Alice as well. Suddenly, she shouts at the guards that this person didn't do anything wrong to her. Hearing her, the guards finally stop and let the man go. After they leave, Alice gets upset with Koji for getting an innocent man in trouble. Now, he feels bad for being so reckless. Then, Alice turns and apologizes to the man, who introduces himself as David. David is actually a servant of the royal family who was here to take Princess Krull away. Thankfully, Alice spoke on his behalf before his reputation could get ruined. He praises the young girl for her maturity, surprised by her kind heart. Then, Rex and the others come over after hearing all the commotion. Seeing David, Krull is surprised, while David's gentlemanly behavior suddenly changes. He starts praising her with extremely weird language, so Krull is creeped out by him. Rex tries to explain that David only means well, but Koji thinks he should have gotten him arrested after all. Later, David sits with everyone in Takako's restaurant. He explains to Krull that he's here to see if she has really changed loyalties. Unfortunately, he was ordered by the king, so he can't leave her without a reason. Sitting with everyone, David notes the identities of all the party members. Although the Demon King has gone missing, the royal family received news from a secret source that Krull's party is still working with Koji towards another goal. Because of this, David wants to know if Krull is still working to find the Demon Lord, or if she is plotting something else with Koji. Hearing this, Krull bursts out, saying that she never abandoned her job as a sage. She points out that these past few days, she has still continued training with Koji and Rex. Aside from defeating monsters to gain experience, their party is gathering the funds to buy better equipment in case they encounter the Demon Lord in the future. Krull also points to Koji, revealing that he's a villager of level 999. Clearly, he's properly qualified to be a teacher. Hearing this, David admits that her reasoning is fine. However, he also wonders why Koji didn't directly kill the Demon King with his incredible powers. Back in Salmeria, he almost single-handedly held off the entire monster army. At this question, Koji plays dumb, pretending that even at level 999, he's still weak because of his villager class. He claims that the fight in Salmeria was greatly exaggerated by rumors. He tells David that in reality, he was only able to barely survive by spamming potions and receiving buffs from Parna and Krull. Aside from this, he also needed the support of all the adventurers to keep fighting. In the end, Koji claims that he was only able to fight the Demon Lord's first-in-command lackey, so there's no way he can actually fight the Demon Lord himself. Because of this, he and his party are trying to open a casino so they can purchase better equipment for their next fight. Although David accepts his reasoning, he still makes it clear that he will stay to keep an eye on them. Instead of offering an apology for spying on them, David asks to see their casino flyers. Alice hands one over to him, so he smiles, saying that he can easily fix their advertisement. With just a few adjustments from him, the flyers start attracting a giant crowd of interested workers. Koji wonders how he did it, so David explains that he only added additional information about their initial offer. Instead of just including the salary, he also added work benefits, promised a safe and secure environment, and also included paid leaves. After seeing these benefits, everyone can see that their company is actually serious about hiring. Soon, Takako comes over, surprised that she's getting so many applicants. Koji tells her that it's all thanks to David, so she takes a closer look at him. Seeing the polite, capable gentleman in a formal outfit, Takako instantly falls in love with him. She excitedly greets David, who seems confused about why she's so happy. While Takako distracts David, Koji tells Rex to keep a close eye on David. Although David seems harmless, Koji thinks he might be here with ulterior motives against Alice and Menno. Behind them, David also pays close attention. A few days later, he follows the party to a cave where the heroes train against monsters. Facing a level 100 mage monster, Rex asks Krull to buff him. Then, he charges at the monster with a boosted attack. Suddenly, Koji smashes his face straight into the ground. Rex gets upset, so Koji tells him that it's useless to fight monsters with increased stats. Hearing this, Rex points out that he's 10 levels below the mage monster, so he should still gain good experience. However, Koji reveals that if a monster is much stronger than an adventurer, they get increased experience points by defeating them. Even if they're at a higher level than a monster, if they have lower stats than it, they'll gain a boosted amount of experience. Essentially, the system rewards adventurers for taking on difficult challenges. Rex is humbled by this explanation, so Koji tells him to start fighting without buffs from now on. Even if a monster hurts him, he promises to heal his injuries. Rex agrees, so Koji encourages him to work hard, reminding him that he has incredible potential as a holder of the hero class. After this, Rex fights the monsters without any buffs, so he frequently gets hurt. Throughout the whole experience, Koji gives him pointers to improve his fighting skills while Rex uses healing to recover. Meanwhile, Krull gets frustrated that Koji is making her watch from the sidelines. David points out that Koji is simply concerned for her, since the Sage class focuses on support, not fighting. Nearby, Koji also agrees with David's words, explaining that he's just worried because she's a girl. Meanwhile, Rex gets upset that she's getting good treatment while he's getting destroyed by monsters. Embarrassed, Krull tells Koji to stop caring about her gender and help her level up quickly. Although Koji agrees, he feels flustered by her demand. Behind them, David laughs at the atmosphere, but he wonders how Koji himself managed to level up so quickly. Koji refuses to explain, so David doesn't push further. Because of Koji's past actions, he doesn't think that he leveled up purely for the sake of earning more money. Now, he thinks he can entrust Krull under his care. Koji points out that no villager is stupid enough to risk their life for a few more pennies. However, David knows that many villagers still take the risk to improve their lives. Alice wonders how getting stronger helps with earning money, so Koji explains that stronger monsters drop more money when killed. Hearing this, she thinks about a legendary monster, rumored to be as strong as the Demon Lord. If they defeat this powerful monster, she wonders if they'll get enough money to buy the rare item from the guild. Behind her, Koji sincerely thanks David for helping them hire employees. David humbly refuses to accept his praise, pointing out that Takako has also been working hard to keep everything running. After observing her work ethic, he thinks that she's an incredibly capable man. Suddenly, Alice points out that Takako is actually a woman. Hearing this, David finally realizes why Takako was being so close with him. While the poor man freezes from shock, Koji admires him for receiving a woman's favor. Feeling jealous, he hopes to find a wife himself. At this, Alice cheerfully tells him that he can always marry her after she grows up. Krull gets upset at this, pointing out that Koji will be a middle-aged 30-year-old by the time she grows up. Nearby, Rex begs her to heal him after receiving terrible injuries. Unfortunately, Krull ignores him and scolds Koji for keeping a young girl like Alice in wait. Then, she finally realizes that Rex will die without her help. Thankfully, she heals him just in time. Afterward, Rex thanks Koji for his guidance, so he asks him to check his levels. He nods, surprised that he gained so many levels in his short time. Hearing this, Koji wonders what kind of skills he'll learn as he grows. In his case, he received the auto-revive skill after leaving level 100. Aside from this, the party knows that he can use the limit breaker skill and his other skill which allows him to oppose the world itself. Still, these are only 3 skills, so Koji should have at least 7 more major skills with his high level. Curious, they ask him what skills he has, thinking they must be overpowered as well. However, Koji explains that he wasn't hiding his other skills at all. To prove his point, he lies on the floor and waits for some monsters. Then, he flicks a rock at them with his fingers, killing them with one blow. After killing the monsters, Koji reveals that this flick used 5 of his 7 other skills. Seeing this, everyone is left completely confused, since it just looked like he threw a random stone. Koji opens up his stat window. For some reason, he has a skill called Super Finger, which allows him to flick his finger really hard. Aside from this, the rest of his skills just enhance his ungodly finger flicking powers. Seeing this, everyone finally realizes that these are the results of his journey to level 999. With his secret exposed, Koji lets out all his frustrations from his level up journey. Rex feels bad for him, realizing why he doesn't use anything other than Charge Blow in battle. Ignoring his concern, Koji hopes that he gets better skills, since his hero class has much more potential than a trash villager. Suddenly, Takako rushes in with bad news. Koji wonders what happened, but she ignores him and runs off to David first. She explains that they don't have enough alcohol for the casino's grand opening, so Koji wonders why they can't just buy some more. Takako points out that the casino only serves premium drinks, so they can't find fresh stock in town. Hearing this, David reveals that a carriage carrying premium drinks from the royal capital should be passing Salmeria soon, so they can buy some from it. Koji wonders how he knows, so David admits that he checked for the carriage in advance. Knowing that the casino could face a shortage. Relieved, Takako thanks David, which only hurts him. Meanwhile, Koji remains suspicious of David since a normal servant would never know about secret carriages coming from the royal family. Still, Alice thinks it's nice to have David's help, so Koji decides to keep an eye on him for now. 2 days later, it's the casino's grand opening, and a large crowd of customers gathers outside. Alice rushes to the entrance, surprised to see Koji there instead of being on an adventure. He reminds her that he's the casino's owner, so there's no way he could have missed the opening ceremony. Still, Koji is grateful to all his friends who worked hard to run everything behind the scenes. Then, he notices Alice's cute outfit. Embarrassed, she explains that Takako and Kroll gave it to her with evil expressions. Koji praises her looks and gives her a stuffed bunny. Then, they enter the casino, where Menno seems to have lost his soul on a slot machine. Instead of bothering the gambling addict, they quietly leave the area. At the bar, they find Rex serving food to the guests while Kroll helps in the kitchen. Meanwhile, Tina tries to give a sermon in the casino's chapel, but no one attends it. Seeing the empty hall, she wonders why Koji even built a chapel in this place. After observing everyone, Koji lets them handle the work. Later, when the employees are on a break, he thanks them all for the good work. As he enters, Takako and Kroll instantly notice Alice standing beside him. Although she already looked very cute in her new dress, they find her even cuter with the stuffed bunny in her arms. Then, Kroll pulls out another dress for her, wanting to see her in other cute outfits. Seeing her act so bold, David thinks the royal princess has changed a lot. In her childhood, Kroll used to be cold and reserved due to living in the royal palace. Now, David thinks that she has learnt to do the things she enjoys after spending time with new friends. Kroll is surprised by this, but Alice also agrees. Meanwhile, Takako tries to slide closer to David, which causes him to run out of the room. As he leaves, Alice notes that he forgot his gloves, so she rushes to return them. Outside, she finds David walking away. Relieved that he's still here, she calls out to him. Suddenly, she trips on a stone while David is turning around. Although he catches her, the sudden movement causes Alice's ribbon to fall off, revealing her demon horns. Seeing this, David grows cold, and Alice starts trembling with fear. However, he doesn't say a word about her horns. Instead, he picks up her ribbon and praises its cuteness. Then, he simply ties the ribbon back around her horns. While Alice is surprised by his gentleness, David gives her a warm goodbye and prepares to leave again. For a moment, she considers revealing her demon background to him. Then, she decides to remain silent and instead explains that he forgot his gloves. David accepts his gloves, so Alice thanks him for the help and returns to the casino. Meanwhile, Menno is clutching Koji's collar in an emergency. As Alice enters the room, he quickly grabs her hand and starts to leave. Alice stops him, wondering why he's leaving so suddenly. Finally, Menno explains that he saw something suspicious after she entered the casino. While she was going around the place with Koji, he had left the building to take a break. There, he noticed David speaking to a messenger from the royal family, informing him about Princess Kroll's current actions. Because of this, they've confirmed that David is indeed a spy from the royal family. Also, even if David is only here to monitor Kroll, Menno cannot risk exposing Alice's identity by keeping her here. Hearing this, Alice thinks that David might not be that bad. She tells everyone that he just saw her demon horns, but instead of killing her, he remained silent and left. Hearing this, Menno starts panicking even more, but Takako stops him. Then, Koji thinks about David's actions. Since he kept Alice's identity a secret, it's possible that he might be covering for them in front of the royal family. For now, they don't know David's true intentions, so he thinks they're not in immediate danger. Alice also nods, so Koji decides to keep him around for the time being. Menno protests against this, so he reminds her that Princess Alice also doesn't want to fight with David. Hearing this, Menno finally agrees to let her stay. Takako chimes in, offering to keep an eye on David for their sake. Under her watchful eye, David remains too scared to send any more reports for the whole week. Meanwhile, in the royal capital, Parna arrives outside the Imperial Library, which is the same place she met her childhood friend. Back then, she was just a young girl trying to learn magic. Unfortunately, the young Parna quickly got bored of the complicated books. Then, a young man called Aldeval sat next to her. At first, she was creeped out, but then, he gave her a different book to read. This book contained beautiful images which instantly caught her eye. From that day onward, she started interacting more with him. She learned that Aldevil wasn't just a bookworm. Whenever he wanted practical experience, he would go outside to observe nature in person. Interested in his research, Parna started going out with him and eventually called him master. Over time, Aldevil told her more about his ideals. Although he was a human, he wanted to bring humans and demons closer. Just like Alice, years of research later, he decided to do a cultural exchange between humans and demons. Parna didn't approve of his idea, since she was still suspicious of demons, but Aldevil thought that the two races could never take a step forward if they never tried. Hearing his words, even Parna decided not to stop him. Soon, he started visiting a demon village. At first, the villagers were hostile to him, but they later warmed up. Eventually, Aldevil asked them to stay with him in a human village. Hearing this, the demons became suspicious, but Aldevil promised them that the humans would not hurt him. Finally, they agreed to his offer, which made him so happy that he hugged Parna in excitement. Aldevil picked Parna's hometown for the demons to stay, since the people there were not very hostile to the demon race. One day, as he arrived with the demons on a carriage, Parna was waiting for him at the entrance. Aldevil happily raised his hand to greet her, but out of nowhere, the demons killed him on the spot. In front of Parna's horrified eyes, they proceeded to raid the entire village and kill everyone she knew and loved. Eventually, a royal knight rescued her and took her away, but she could never forget that horrific tragedy. Recalling Aldevil's words, his hopes and dreams that caused him to trust the demons, she started laughing at the irony of it all. After that tragedy, Parna was depressed for a while, unable to do anything. Then, she met Rex and Krull, who were also on a mission to eliminate the demons. This gave her a reason to exist, so she joined them to take revenge. Now, even if she thinks that their world was created unfairly, she doesn't care about the person behind it. All she knows is that the demons betrayed her friend's trust and massacred her hometown, so she wants payback no matter what. Thinking about this, she swears to take down Koji, who is friends with the demons she hates. Weeks later, Koji is sitting in the casino, worried about the future. The casino is barely making 15 gold coins a week, since most commoners gamble on the lowest paying games, while the nobles aren't interested in sitting with them. Having lived their whole lives in luxury, these noblemen can't stand the thought of breathing the same air as filthy commoners. Seeing this, David feels embarrassed that the noble people are so arrogant, and Krull thinks that they're just a bunch of lazy snobs. Still, Koji knows that they can't erase the arrogance from the noble people's hearts so easily. Instead, he thinks they should build a VIP room to attract the rich customers. Aside from this, Rex suggests grinding some money by killing strong monsters. Koji admits that this plan could work, but they would need a spawn crystal to do it. By themselves, spawn crystals are very rare and hard to find. Even if they find one, it would take the crystal a long while to absorb enough mana to create strong monsters. Because of this, it's better to make money through other means. Hearing this, Alice asks Koji if he has considered fighting the legendary dragon. Although he has heard about the dragon, he reminds her that it's still a creature of legend, so they don't know if it exists for sure. Alice nods, but she wonders how much money the dragon would drop if they ever found it. After thinking about it, Koji admits that the dragon might just give them enough money to buy the rare item. Since Alice brought it up, he wonders if she knows about the dragon's location. She shakes her head, explaining that Menno knows more about it. Afterward, Koji asks Menno about the details, but he strongly recommends against it. To his knowledge, the dragon is level 500, but that's just a base number. In reality, it would have a frightening amount of special skills that would boost its power far beyond those numbers. Koji already knows this, but Menno still thinks he's underestimating just how strong the dragon is. He points out that even the Demon King warned him not to provoke the dragon. Although Menno appreciates Koji's efforts to save the Demon King, he still thinks this mission is too risky. At this, Koji reminds him that if he fails to make enough money in time, the Demon Lord will die anyway. In that case, it would become impossible for humans and demons to ever coexist, so it's better to try his luck at the dragon anyway. Eventually, he convinces Menno to fight the dragon, but only if he comes with him. Koji tells him that he'll take Alice instead, so he can help out in the casino, which angers Menno even more. Later, as they inform everyone about their mission, Alice asks to come with them anyway. Aside from her, the other party members also offer to join. However, Koji refuses refuses all of their offers. He reminds them that he still needs help in the casino, and Menno is the only person strong enough to help him with this mission. Alice is disappointed, but Koji tries to comfort her. A few hours later, the entire party gathers at the city gate to say goodbye to Koji. Alice wonders if she can do anything other than help with the casino, so Koji tells her to take care of herself. He reminds her that he's doing everything for her sake, so she should stay safe for him. Then, he asks David to take care of her while she's gone. He nods, vowing on his honor to protect her. After he leaves, David notices that Alice is upset. He repeats the same words as Koji, reminding her that she is the source of his motivation. Also, he points out that she can request Koji to do anything with her cute charm. Then, he advises Alice to train in other areas if she wants to help Koji in the future. Even if she can't do those things immediately, that doesn't mean she isn't important to her friends. Hearing this, she decides something and asks Kuril to teach her magic. That was episode 7. Subscribe to not miss the next part and watch the next video on screen.